So I'm over at my storage unit, and well, I have two storage units. So I was bringing down a bunch of stuff from the build that I didn't need, that I picked up or that I was done with and wanted to get dropped back off. One of them has mostly tools in it, the other one has mostly supplies in it and whatnot. So this was the first one I was in, and I dropped off all the tooling and stuff like that, and looked at the bin with the push rods in it. When I was carrying something, I was like, oh, I'll check those on the way out, and brought in the rest of the stuff. Forgot to check lock the door, and I was like, oh, well, I know I have all this in the other one, so let me see what I got down there, because I knew I had like a bunch of performance push rods. So I searched the other whole container. The other container is twice as big with massive amounts of bins. Searched them all. Everything that I had that was the good quality performance stuff was 3/8 diameter. These have to be 5/16 because of the hole in the head that it has to pass through. So search everything. Only ones there I had looked like with the welded on stud on the end, or ball on the end, like the one that broke off in one burnout. So those weren't going to do any good. The other ones were too fat. So finished up over there, came back over here. First set I grabbed, one piece, all in great shape, all 16 of them, exactly the length I need. I always spend the time to go back and check. I should have checked when I first came in. I would have seen these were the exact perfect ones. I wouldn't even search for the other ones. But anyway, got what I needed. So I'm going to get packed up and head back north and see if I can get these in tonight. Well, all the shuffling's done. Everything's done. I'm back with all my push rods, so I'm going to give those a cleaning and start putting them in and get them all adjusted. And it's already getting pretty late, so I probably won't run it tonight. I'll get them in and get adjusted tonight. I'll be able to run it tomorrow during the day. So let's see if I get crucified on this one here. I was just talking to one of my buddies on the ride back, and he was just, ironically, he was asking me about adjusting valves on a small block Chevy. Somebody he knows is working on a boat motor, and the guy has to adjust the valves for the first time. So he kind of ran down a couple of the different options on how you do it.
And I was telling him one of the cheat ways that I do it sometimes is, a common way you do it is you put it on top dead center cylinder number 1, and then there's a list of intake valves and a list of exhaust valves that you adjust. So you have to go around and you adjust certain ones, and you put a Sharpie mark on it that you adjusted it on which ones, and you follow the map, and you make sure you get them all, you double check and make sure. Then you turn the crank over 1 full revolution, and at that point it's on number 6 cylinder compression stroke, and you adjust all the others, certain intakes, certain exhausts. So you go through the list again and you adjust all those. Now I was telling him one of the down and dirty ways that I do it is, I'm actually doing it this go round. I haven't done it this way in a while, but I put it on just top dead center on 0 on the crank. I don't care if it's on 1 or 6. All the rockers are loose at whatever position that was. And then I go around and I adjust them all to what they're supposed to be. Just taking just setting these to the proper lash. And then what I do is, once they're all adjusted, then I turn it 1 full revolution on the crank, and then you just go through, and any of the other ones that need to be adjusted are now loose. And that makes it like super simple. You're not paying attention to, oh, this one's the intake, this one's the exhaust, this one's 6, or this one's 3, and you're not bouncing back and forth. You're just kind of running through, adjust them all. And even if they're a little on the high, if they're blatantly on the high side, like this one here, I won't even adjust that one. I'll just leave that one super loose because I know that one obvious. But anything that's remotely close to being all the way down, I adjust them all, and then I go back around 1 full turn, and I do it 1 more lap, and I'm done. And that will usually get it. A lot of the times I'll go through where you get it where the intake valve starts to open and you adjust the exhaust. The exhaust valve opens, starts to open, you adjust the intake. And you can do that every time. But this one's a huge pain in the butt to get to the crank. And I'm just going to run it this way. I've done it a million times. It always works. So I'm going to do it this way. Let me know what you think. I know it's not common practice. Probably never even heard of it before. But if you just think of the actual steps involved, there shouldn't be any flaws. Like, it should all work. And now I just turn the crank 1 full turn, and let me do this so I don't forget. But this one here, and then this one here, that one's got play, that one's got play, this one's got play. So yeah, so I got 1, 2, 3 to adjust on this side, then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to adjust on that side. So, and there's no thinking, there's no following the book and following the numbers and a piece of sheet of paper floating around and, oh, which cylinder is this? Did I do that one? Did I do that one? You're not chasing a Sharpie around to be like, okay, I tightened this one, and whatnot, which is what I did this last go around. Was I was doing them individual cylinders wise, and guess what? I left one of them loose, and it took away from the event. It wiped out a push rod, and everything, just because I was doing it in a rush. That the fact I was doing it in a rush was the biggest part of it. But then it was also that, yeah, it was doing it the other way, where you have to keep track of everything. And I had just pulled it up on my phone, and then I wrote it down on a block of wood I think I had laying around, and there's just a lot of back and forth, and there's a lot of variables there. There's the possibility of messing something up, and this is fairly foolproof. You start from the end, you do every single one of them, and then once you turn it over, you come back and you just look for all the loose ones. And anything that's loose, you just go back in and you adjust those, and then you know you hit every single one of them. And then go back through and retighten the poly locks on all of them, just to make sure. Because you may find it hard to believe, but you know, sometimes it can be left loose. And I think doing it this method is perfectly in line with this build being a down and dirty build in the beginning, especially. Now it's not so much pressure, but I am trying to make it to another event, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. So there is a little bit of pressure, but it's not as much as the last one of trying to build the whole car. Like, the rear end's already proven itself, the brakes work, the transmission's working great, and all that other stuff. Now I'm just working out a couple of details, which is just this basically. And if I have time, I'll, you know, wire up the tack and do a couple other things like that. But for the most part, this is definitely definition of a down and dirty way of adjusting the valves. And these do have play in them, because these are solid roller lifters, so they all do have play in them when you're done. But it's about a razor blade thickness of play. If you remember that from the last time that I didn't have the fuel gauges, and guess what, I keep forgetting to pick them up. But in the research I did, came up with that this razor blade that was right in the middle of the range of where these things want to be adjusted. So I'm pretty okay using it again, because I don't have any issues because of them being too tight or them being too loose or anything like that. Well, one bolt being too loose, but as far as adjustment wise, it worked out perfect. They all seem to do pretty good, and yeah. This is one of the ones that was way up before. Didn't even bother adjusting. What do you think? Should I put a passenger seat in it before this next event? I got it sitting in the shed. Wouldn't take a lot of work. In case anybody wants to hop in for a crazy ride at this next event, because this next event's dirt track racing, and I'm not sure, but I think it's dirt track, like circle track racing. I think it's pretty vague on what it is. It's called the Hot Iron Dust Up, I think it's called, or the Iron Dust Up. It's actually where I bought my house that I'm building. It's actually, I don't know, 2 miles away from the house I bought, and it's on the same street even. So I think it's meant to be that I go to that one, because I'm new to that town, and why not let the first car event be something fun rather than just a cruise night? What do you think? Passenger seat? I think I should put it in. You never know. I'm a single guy. Maybe a girl will want to go for a ride in the passenger seat, and it'll be totally okay if she does. Nobody can yell at me. And a couple more to do here. And it's getting dark out. That'd be perfect timing. Put the valve covers on, call it a night. And tomorrow at some point, I'll run it, see how it sounds, and kind of go from there. I don't know if I'll do a burnout tomorrow. My brother won't be here. It's his house. So, if he's telling me to do the burnout, then I'll do the burnout. If he tells me to do the burnout and a neighbor comes running over and he's here, then he's there to deal with it in person. So I might not do the burnout tomorrow. I might wait until he's here. We'll see. I do have to get back out onto my house and start getting work done out there. I'm falling behind. This project is taking me away from the house, but it was a mental break that I needed because I'm doing everything but car stuff, and I've been doing everything but car stuff for pretty much 2.5 years. So I think it is time where I could justify taking some time off to do this build and have a little fun. Alright, well that's all adjusted, and I'm just going to put the valve covers back on, and I'll spare you the active videoing on that. Well, that's it. All the matching push rods are in, valves are adjusted, valve covers are back on. I do want to pull the distributor and put this bronze gear on. I'm not going to stop that this late tonight. I'll probably do that tomorrow, and then do that because I don't know what the cam is. So hopefully I didn't hurt the cam, but I'm running a regular metal gear on the distributor. That was on the list to do before the drag race, but I just had to make it. So hopefully there's no damage in there. We'll address that tomorrow. Probably going to be fine, but realistically there's a chance it's not. So either way, I'll address that in the morning. And yeah, thanks again for watching. I know this is a short, quickie little update of nothing, just push rods and adjusting valves, but if you took the time to watch it, I appreciate it.